I didn't put my house on the line, I didn't put all my assets on the line to start this business. I did it organically and kind of let the business feed itself.
That was Adam Elpayaa of Pizza Payaa, and it's your boy, Idriff, and you're listening to the What's Good Dough podcast. Whether it's pizza, business, or life, my guest and I are always talking about ways we can level up. I'm super stoked to share this episode with you all because it is just a straight to the point, play-by-play of how someone started a pizza business from giving away pizza in the pandemic to eventually making it to a brick and mortar. Adam talks about how he found his calling for pizza, and like I said, he just started to give it away. And that's when he found his business partner who was like, yo, I need you, you need me, let's do something together. This led to just this amazing business called Pizza Payaa, where they're cranking out tons and tons and tons of pan pizzas all day, every day. For your convenience, there is an auto-generated show transcript. It's going to be on my website, and I've linked it in the show's description, so go ahead and check that out. This is an amazing episode, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And remember to always ask, what's good, dough? What's up, everybody? I have with me today a very special guest, a buddy of mine, actually, who I've had the pleasure of meeting in person and just eating pizza with. But even before that, we were chatting, talking pizza, talking business, and he's the owner and operator of Pizza Payaa. Welcome to the show, Adam. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate the invite.
Heck yeah. I'm stoked to have you on. Right before we hit the record button, we were just talking about how we had a good time eating pizza in Boston together. And really, I'm excited to finally talk business with you, because it was all chill stuff, when we chatted last time.
Yeah. Babies and houses, right?
Babies and houses and marriages and travel, all that stuff.
Right. Yeah. All that good stuff.
Yeah. There is one way that I like to start the show. There's no right or wrong answer. What's good, dough?
Love it. What's good, though? Well, life is good, man. Life is good. But more literally, good dough. Good dough to me it's everything, Without good dough, I wouldn't have a business today. It's the foundation for everything. If you have a good dough, something that's light, crispy, airy, has good flavor, it opens up so many doors to play with the pizza how you want. It lets you get a lot more creative with it, because people come back for the crust and the dough, and then you can kind of mess around and do some crazy stuff with the toppings. So that's what good dough is to me.
Yeah, once it's solid and locked down, go crazy with the toppings. But if you have the crappy foundation, as you called it, which I agree 100%, people will know, and they may not come back, no matter what toppings you put on there.
Absolutely.
Where did you get where'd you get your dough fundamentals from? Where'd you learn how to make pizza and all that?
I just kept buying books, man. I bought like the Pizzeria Badia book, the Pizza Bible, Peter Reinhardt, a bunch of bread baking books. I was pretty happy with it, just with doing the books. And then when the pandemic happened, I took a couple classes online. Slow Rise Pizza, no Broner. It's guy's a wizard with dough, and really leveled up my game, understanding fermentation and why things happen the way they did. So I'd say that I'd attribute his classes to really taking it up a notch.
I've been working with high hydration dough lately, and I started actually looking at his stuff to see if I should take the class myself, Knowles. What level did you end up taking? Just out of curiosity.
I've taken them all.
All of them?
I've taken like 6 of his classes.
Oh,
just because
wow.
you pick up little things,
Yeah, I'm sure.
And he has guests on there all the time now. Lee Hunsinger was on there. That was a cool one. He did one with the modernist pizza guy a couple weeks ago. I couldn't make that one, but it looked pretty cool.
So it's been very much worth it then for you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's worth the investment and then some, big time.
That's dope. That's dope. I love the backing. And yeah, no, I see all the guests he's bringing on and just his knowledge specifically. It definitely looks interesting to me, and I may want to check it out in the future. Like I said, I'm working with this 80% dough, and I'm thinking to myself, like, what's missing here? I feel like there's something missing, and I'm almost certain he's going to go over that.
Oh, that's the best part, man. You get to ask him questions, real specific, and he'll get into it. He's a dough nerd, so he loves talking about that stuff.
Very cool. And so you got your pizza training from there, and the business training, because this isn't your first business, right?
Yeah, this is my third restaurant, actually. I started a Chicago-style hot dog joint with a couple of my friends after I graduated college. We ended up having 2 locations, ran that for about 12, 13 years. I actually just sold it to one of my partners. So
cool.
and that was kind of self-taught too. Like we were young. It was 2008, big time recession. We didn't want to go get jobs. So we're like, all right, let's go open a restaurant. We can do this. We were too stupid to know otherwise. We lived upstairs, and we worked all the hours, and we were eating tons of hot dogs just to survive. But we figured it out, man. We figured it out. So it was a blessing being ignorant in those times.
Yeah. What lessons? I'm sure. What were maybe some of the most important lessons that like you carried from that spot, so that you didn't have to make it over in Pizza Payaa?
Tons of them, man. Tons of them. Trying not to do too much, especially in the beginning, because like with that one, I had 2 partners, so we kind of carried each other a little bit. But this was just me, so I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do 7 days a week. Like that's, I won't be able to breathe, and I'm not going to invest all this money before I know things are going to get going. So we just kind of did it. I just did it bit by bit, brick by brick, and just making sure there was a viable market for it before I kind of went all in with it. Yeah, that was the biggest one.
When you say checking if there's a viable market for it, like what did you do specifically to do that?
So what I did was I just started posting online, really, my pizzas. Like at first I was giving it to my wife and, her family and friends and whatever, and just like, okay, is this any good, And when they said it was good, I'm like, all right, yeah, I think it's pretty good. But, your friends and family are going to be a lot nicer to you than the general public.
For sure.
So they would start posting on Instagram, like on their stories, and then like their friends like, oh, where'd you get that pizza? So I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll make them one. Like, sure, why not? And then it just kind of like snowballed from there. Like everybody just kept posting it. Like they'd pick up the pizza at my house. I'd give it to them for free. They'd try, like, oh my God, this is so fire. Post it on Instagram. And then like, before I know it, like 20 people are in my DMs like, hey, how can I buy one of these pizzas? I'm like, oh, I'm not selling them yet, but like, I'll make you one. Like, so I just kind of got a schedule, and like Lauren, my wife, would help me out. She'd run the pizzas, down the street to people and meet them in a parking lot. It wasn't sketchy at all.
Oh, bless you, Lauren. You're amazing.
Yeah, she is.
What a supporter.
Right. No, she's the MVP for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, we just kind of tested it out that way, and people really loved it. And after they had it, they're like, hey, I want another one. Like, can you put me back on the list? Like, can I buy one? And I'm like, no, like I don't want to sell them out of my house. Like, that's not right. Like, we're going to do this right. So the list grew to like 1,000 people. So I was like, all right, that's so good enough to start a business, right? Like that's good enough to start a business. Like, let's go. Let's take the training wheels off here. So then we kind of like got a little more aggressive looking for a spot, which, also was not traditional. Like the spot I'm in now was the spot I was popping up out of. It was a virtual reality arcade called Mass VR. And the lady who owned it was one of the taste testers. She's like, this is really good. Like, I've been looking to upgrade my food. Like, we're closed for COVID. Like, you could have free reign of the place. Like, come check it out, And that's what we did. And we just, we used their little easy bake ovens for about a day. And they're like, all right, this is not going to work. So then we like went on eBay, bought some used Baker's Pride electric ovens that didn't need hoods. We could put out, I don't know, like 40 pizzas an hour with that. And then like, we just kept getting bigger and bigger. Like, all right, now it's time to get the mixer. Now it's time to get the pizza master. Like we were hand mixing like hundreds of pounds of dough every week. I'm like, all right, I don't need a gym membership anymore. Like I'm just, my forearms are like mixing here. So,
I mean, kind of like what you said, you know, you built it brick by brick, right?
Yeah.
One little step at a time, upgrading as needed. I feel like sometimes I myself have been like, well, I don't have all the things that I need that are like the top things, right? I don't have a mixer, so I can't make dough. I can't sell pizza, whatever the case may be. But you just did it and then overcome the challenges as needed.
Yeah, definitely. You can mix a lot of dough by hand. That's what I learned. You know, when you get that high hydration, like you mix it, give it some time. It's good. It's golden, man. It's nice. I wouldn't go back to that. I like my spiral mixer, but you know, it's a great way to start.
Yeah. Before we go into the whole, you know, working at a VR spot, which is definitely a topic I really want to dive in on. It's like, I just want to rewind a little bit with 1,000 people wait list. Like I've heard, you know, multiple stories before about that, fortunately. But every story is a little bit different, where people just have wait lists. I could think of Jerry's Pizza PDX, Wizard of Zaw in Columbus, Ohio, and maybe even Ben Berman out of PHL, just, you know, off the top of my head, of guests that I interviewed. But like, 1,000 people is a lot of people waiting for pizza. What did you do with that? Like specifically, how did it get so big? Is it just the demand? What more can you tell me about it?
You know, it was just like grassroots. It was like organic, you know, because people would get the pizza and like, because it was so hard to get, like they'd post it on social media and then like all their friends were like, hey, where'd you get that? Like, how can I get that? And like, oh, send the guy a message, like he'll get you on the wait list. So like, I just had this spreadsheet with like, you know, all these people's like Instagram handles and Facebook names. And we just kind of schedule it out like that week by week. We had like a sign up. I forget what we were using. There's some website where like people could pick time slots, you know, because I was doing it in my home oven. So it's like I could do, you know, 4 pizzas an hour. Like it wasn't like we're putting out like 100 of them. So people would take their time slots and we'd go meet them. And yeah, I mean, it was just really organic. It wasn't anything like we weren't putting any ads out. We weren't telling anybody anything. It was just, you know, get a social media presence, get the pizza out there, and like let the people kind of do the talking for you. So
I love that. Yeah, it caught fire. You know, people's word of mouth. You still can't like, I don't know. What's the word? Undermine it, right? It still can make or break you.
Oh, it's free. it's the cheapest form of marketing. It's the best form of marketing because people are going to listen to their friends more than like, you know, an ad or just like, you know, if they see some random new place, like if they got friends and family saying like, hey, this is really good. Like you're going to want to try this. Yeah. That's like the best endorsement you can get. So
just for the record, because like not everyone who's listening like follows you or knows about you, right? They're hearing about you for the first time. You're making pan pies, Detroit's.
You know, I call them. They've got some Detroit inspiration, some Sicilian inspiration, focaccia inspiration. I don't know. It's hard to put it in a box, but yeah, pan pizzas.
Definitely pan pizzas. And would you say that like in your area, was there anyone else doing anything similar, or was it just like, oh crap, where can you get this kind of pizza? This is new to us.
Well, yeah, that's kind of an interesting point too, because like I actually started off doing round New York pies, and the Sicilians were just kind of like an afterthought. So I was doing both, posting both, and letting people pick what they wanted. And nowhere in the area. I mean, that was part of the market research too, right? I went to every single pizza place in town, ate their pizza, you know, asked them what their best pizza was, tried it. And after I was just, I mean, not to talk bad about anybody else, but I was just underwhelmed. I was like, okay, this is not anything special. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what can I bring to the table that is different? So that's kind of how the hype built too. So like, if everybody was doing pan pizzas here, like maybe that strategy is not going to work. You know, you want something that people can't get, haven't seen before. So that was part of the thought process too.
No, I mean, that's smart. And as long as you like the pizza that you're making, right? It's not like you were totally in love with, New York pies and only make pan pies because that's what sells, but it helps to enjoy what you make, but also sell what people want.
Definitely. And it helps if you got both going on at the same time, right?
Yeah, right. For real. So you are making this crazy pie and you meet your future landlord. How did she find you?
Same way, just like
Word of
on
mouth?
social media. Yeah. She's just like, hey, like I want to try this pizza too. I'm like, all right, cool. Like next Wednesday, here's the link, pick a spot. This is funny too, but turns out she's like my wife's second cousin. And she didn't even know. She had no idea. So like my wife goes to drop off the pizza to her and it's like, she's like, Kim? And she's like, Lauren? Like, I didn't know that you were the one making these pizzas. She's like, no, it's my husband, da 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 da. And then she liked the pizza. She messaged me. She's like, hey, come check it out. And that's how that started.
Dang, how perfect almost.
Yeah, it's a lot of fate going on.
Shoot. Well, that's good. I mean, it's working. How do you like working out of a VR spot? And maybe you can explain for the listeners what a VR spot is, because I don't have one of those in my local area. But I had to look it up.
I mean, think like a Chuck E. Cheese or like I don't know, some arcade, some place to go for kids to have fun, and they've got rides and VR headsets and like a thing in the back where like you put on these glasses and a backpack and you're like inside of a Halo game. Like it's cool stuff. So like people have their birthday parties there, things like that. Definitely not set up to be a restaurant. Like not even close. Like it was cafeteria style. They had these little countertop ovens. So we've kind of changed that a lot since we've been there. We've put a lot of work into it. So
now is the owner of the spot helping you with these adjustments, or is it mainly you? How's that set up?
So in the beginning, she was pretty eager to kind of upgrade her food program. So she was pretty generous in partnering up, and she kind of took care of anything that was like a change to the building. She took care of it, and like anything equipment wise was my responsibility. So we kind of looked at it as like a partnership in that sense, where like, hey, like, you help me get going, and I'm going to help you kind of bring some people in here, and get the food elevated, give people another reason to come in here. So it's been working pretty well so far.
Cool. Now, in terms of like bringing people in, do you find that people are just going to get pizza from you and then going to VR, or is like they don't have to like play VR to get pizza from you, right?
No, not at all. It's like kind of we're in the front there. People come in, pull up, park, get their pizza, go a lot of the time. A lot of times, like it's just like an exposure type of thing. They'll come in like, oh, I didn't even know this VR place was here. And then like they'll have like a birthday party there. And then kind of vice versa too. Like they'll have a birthday party and people like, oh, I didn't know Pizza Payaa was here. And like they'll try the pizza and then they'll kind of become customers. So.
Okay. And are you catering for the birthdays too? Or is it just...
At first we weren't. At first they were doing like frozen pizzas, like just because it was cheap and whatever. And then eventually we just kind of did a complete kitchen takeover. I give her a good deal on the pizzas, and everybody's happy.
That works. Okay. So you said you upgraded your oven, and I want to talk to you about this because like when I see your videos, you're just loading them up. Like literally, if you're listening to this, just imagine like 16 pan pies loading in at once, and then another 16, it looks like loading in on the second row, and that's one deck.
Yeah.
It seems like you have two decks and doing the same thing. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So that was kind of born out of the way our business model was. We would sell out, we were only open 2 days a week. So like we kind of kept that demand high and we didn't have the supply to meet it.
At first,
yeah. So even when we got the Pizza Master, it was like, oh shit, like we still don't have enough room. Like we should have got a bigger one. But so we do our pizzas in 15-minute intervals. We still do that. So people order a pizza for 7:15 pickup. So obviously 5:30 on a Friday, you got, so many people that want pizza at that time. So we load them all up at the same time, put the timer on, and take them all out. So it's kind of like a beautiful pizza dance every 15 minutes there.
Dang. What systems do you have around that that kind of make it work?
You know, just doing intervals, really. Like instead of, there's a lot of reasons we do that. Like, because if we did just on the fly pizzas, I feel like opening the oven and closing it a lot, you lose a lot of heat. Then you get, different times on different pizzas and different cooks and different results. So doing it this way, we find it's super consistent because you're opening the oven once, you get them in, and you shut it. And then it's like, okay, it's going to be a little bit hotter in the front. So, you keep those pepperoni and sausage ones there. And we just know the oven better, and it's easier to predict how it works. So that I don't know if I have a system for it, but that's just kind of how it works for us.
Do you offer customizations?
I just started doing that.
Okay.
We opened Pandora's box. It used to be like, hey, we got 5 pizzas. Take them or leave them. But now,
Right.
As we got more in mass, like people, we had our following, we had our like cult following, and like they'd come get the pizza no matter what. And now it's like we're kind of expanding, and people expect build your own. I want this on my pizza. I want that on my pizza. So that's been a challenge, kind of managing, because a lot of thought goes into like, all right, how much sauce, how much cheese, how many ounces of, this, how many ounces of that. If you've got 4 toppings on it, like where do you put them and how much of each? So it's been a learning curve over the past month or so while we're doing that build your own to, make sure they're on point.
I'm sure. And not only that, but like, I guess my question, my reason for asking that was because like, if you have 4 different pies only, it's like, it doesn't matter whose pie is whose, right? When they're done baking, you just box them up and make sure you tag them up. But if like you have a special number 1, it's no bell peppers, and you got to make sure that you keep a special eye on that one.
Right.
You don't want to get the wrong pizza to the wrong person.
So what we do is we write on the boxes. Every single box we write, name, time, and what kind of pizza it is, and then we just kind of line up the boxes after we load the pizzas, so that like they're ready to go, and that's kind of our system around that to kind of make sure everybody gets the right pie.
Cool. Welcome to the What's Good Dough podcast, and get ready to level up. But before we continue with the show, I want to introduce you to my 2 show sponsors, Uni Pizza Ovens and Cordo Olive Oil. Let's start with Uni. They are the #1 pizza oven company in the world with the best community there is. Because of their ovens, I have made some of the most amazing pizzas. From round pies to squares, I'm able to get to temperatures of up to 900 degrees, allowing me to cook the pizzas of my dreams. If you're looking to grow your pizza business, buying an Uni makes sense. My past guest Ryan of Sanctuary Pizza has a mobile catering company powered by Uni. These powerful ovens are efficient, lightweight, and can be used almost anywhere. Whether you take pizza seriously like me or want to run a pizza operation like Ryan, Uni is the choice for you. Use the link in the show notes and join the Uni community. My second show sponsor is Cordo Olive Oil. At first, I didn't believe that olive oil mattered. It wasn't until I got educated and learned about the difference between commodity oil and Cordo's fresh squeezed olive oil that I ditched the supermarket stuff. Today, I only use Cordo olive oil when it comes to making my dough and even doing a post-bake drizzle. I have even made some amazing pesto with it. Oh my goodness. Cordo's high-quality olive oil does really elevate anything it touches. My buddy Chris, who runs A Slice of New Jersey, just switched over to Cordo. Not only is he getting quality, but he ended up saving money by switching over too. If you're still unsure of the difference, pizza operators can sign up for a free olive oil tasting. Use the link in the show notes to learn more. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my show sponsors and supporting this show. Have there been any downsides to working at a VR spot, other than like the build out wasn't, or like the kitchen wasn't really meant for a pizzeria at first?
I'd say that's kind of like the toughest part is, there's no walk-in cooler. I mean, I bought some like old Roland fridges from school. So like I can put those speed racks in there with the dough and everything, but really not having enough cooler space has been kind of tough. And kind of running two businesses at the same time and trying to navigate that. We don't do any of the beverages. They do the beverages. So kind of just figuring things out, how to mesh well and make sure that the customer experience is always number one. That's been one of the challenges, but we learn every week. We get better every week.
Yeah. So when you say you don't do the beverages, I imagine the issue is like when they order their pizza and they want to get a drink, you got to like point them over there.
Right. It's like, oh, hey, like he's got the drinks for you right there, and it's just, it's a little clunky, but you do what you got to do.
Yeah. Now, would you say that because you're like, what's your rent like? I'm curious if are you getting a pretty good deal on this place?
So in the beginning, the rent was pretty much, it was a percentage of sales. It was 3% of sales all in, utilities,
is that good?
Everything. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I mean, I like to keep it like 5% and under if you want to be pretty profitable. I mean, rule of thumb says don't go over 10%. It just kind of depends, but it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it.
Is that the same today? When you started?
She wants more money now, so we're paying her a little more money. We're paying her a flat rate. We figured out a flat rate, and it's like, all right, I'm going to give you this every month, no matter what we sell. So I think she's happier with it, and it's fine for me too because it's more consistent. It's like, okay, this is the number, and get a little more aggressive with sales, opening up a few more days now.
So with very little space and no refrigeration, or you said you had to get refrigeration, right?
Yeah. I bought 6 of them.
6 of them.
Oh, yeah.
But still pretty limited.
Yeah.
In like the grand scheme of things, right?
Yeah.
What are you refrigerating your dough then? What's your dough process like?
Yeah, we do a 2 to 3 day cold ferment. Usually we mix a bunch on Monday. We bulk ferment it, and then we cut it and pan it the day of service. It's a little different. I don't know if anybody else is doing this, and maybe I'm embarrassed to admit it, but we don't ball our dough. We get the big, giant blob. We cut it out into this kind of like shape of the pan ish, and we just press it out and like give it. We do that like 3 times, and we just give it a nice long rise, and it turns out great. Like it saves time, and I really like the results. So.
I've heard people, you're not the only one who I've heard that from. Because if you ball it out, like you're going to get like rounded corners. Right. And so I've heard people just cutting it up and letting it proof. What size is your dough weight and what size of the pan?
We do 10 by 8s, the Lloyds, and we do about 9.2 ounces. We started a little higher than that, but I just found it to be, well, initially the oven we had the opening was about that big, and the pan itself barely fit in there in one of those baker's prides. So we had to kind of bring the dough down, otherwise the cheese and sausage and everything was like hitting the top deck. Oh, I see. And then we just kind of thinner. Yeah, we give it a long rise. So like they end up being a really pretty thick now, but 9.2. So it's still pretty light and airy, but it's substantial.
It must be really airy then, because it's for anyone listening who likes grams, 260 grams for a 10 by 8. That's, usually my 12-inch pies are around 250-ish. Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. And instant dry yeast, sourdough, what are you using?
Instant dry yeast. I've done sourdough in the past. I just there's just so many more steps to that where running a restaurant, I'm like, I don't want to worry about the dough. I want the dough to be 100% every time. And I know there's a lot of people doing it, like Audrey Jane, and there's a ton of people doing sourdough, so it can be done. But I just chose to stick with the thing that worked for me, that was consistent.
What are like some of the most popular toppings that you guys have?
Our most popular
combinations
pizza is the honey badger. It's like we use ezzo pepperoni, Greco grinds up this sausage with like extra black pepper and fennel for us. Mike's hot honey, which is, nobody was using that down here, and now it's like everywhere. Then we finish off with a little fresh basil. That's our most popular pizza for sure. And our mushrooms, man, I love our mushrooms. We don't put them on raw. We roast them down first with like a little olive oil and salt, and they're just so savory, so much umami. Like I just love putting those on anything.
Damn, sounds good. I just had mushrooms the other day on a pizza, and now I'm kind of craving it again.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
What about flour and cheese, tomatoes? What are y'all using?
Sir Galahad, King Arthur. We use the why am I drawing a blank? Grande cheese and
Good stuff.
what's the tomatoes? Everybody uses
Stanislaus,
tomatoes.
Bianco?
Stanislaus. Yeah, Stanislaus.
Do you know the hydration of your dough for the Sir Galahad?
Yeah, we do 75%. 75% water and then about 3% oil. So
Wow.
yeah.
So the way I'm hearing it is that you have a very light and airy pie.
Yeah.
What are you doing to? Are you par baking those?
We do. Yeah, we do par bake.
Okay.
I find that operationally, it makes so much more sense because you can pre-build and kind of get ahead. And the end product, I've always liked it better with the par bake. You get a nice crispness to it, a nice airiness. It holds the structure better.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. No, because I'm like going back to your dough, and I'm just thinking you are using, I don't know, it almost seems like the bare minimum for dough. I mean, I don't really work with 8x10 pans, but do you feel that like it's really just a lot of waiting time for it to like take its shape, and then it's like a lot of patience, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of time, and a lot of labor. It's not everybody's favorite job. we get there early in the morning and cut it all up, push it out once, let it chill for a little bit, push it out again, let it chill for a little bit, push it out one more time, let it chill for a while, and then par bake it. It's a long process. It's a really long process, but the end result is worth it. I couldn't really imagine doing it another way.
Yeah, because then you're basically waiting for that smaller dough ball just to get to the edge, and I imagine that's what's taking a while, right? To stretch it without stretching it too far.
Right, and we use olive oil too. When I did Crisco, it was like, all right, you push it once and it sticks and it's good.
Yeah.
But I like the flavor of olive oil, man. It just tastes so much better to me,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I use Crisco too because of the sticking, but
Yeah.
you're right. I don't like the taste as much, and I'm not sure if I want to give that up though because of the convenience of the sticking.
It saves you so much time. It saves you like hours,
Yeah, and oil is so inviting for the dough to just let it shrink back and do its thing.
Yeah,
It's quite annoying.
We did pick up a trick at the Pizza Expo from Tony G. He's like, like one of my cooks was doing this one morning. Instead of pushing it on the pan, he pushed it on the table first with no oil, and then it kind of stuck. And then it kind of gets that memory like, okay, this is how big I'm supposed to be. And then you move it to the pan. So then we eliminated the third push. Now we're just down to 2 pushes. So, evolving as we go.
Smart. Okay. I actually have done that like once or twice before, but I think maybe it was just a bad time for me because I think it may have like over fermented my dough or it didn't stretch back as far as I wanted to. Mm-hmm. And so maybe that was where I failed a bit, but I've definitely heard of people stretching it outside and then transferring it on.
Yeah. It saves time for sure.
I mean, I guess what's next for you? Do you think you're going to be staying there for a minute?
We are, we're actively looking for a bigger space. Somewhere, more centrally located, but we're going to keep selling pies out of there no matter what happens. We're going to set her up kind of, I don't know, this is like a side arm business. I really haven't told anybody about this, but we're thinking about freezing some pies and like kind of testing the market with her. Cause like I send frozen pies to my mom she lives in Chicago. I live in Bloomington. It's 2 hours away and she won't let me come home without frozen pizza for her. And like, she like eats that religiously. Like she loves it. So they reheat really well. So that I think we're going to try to start like a little side business once we get our next location and give frozen pizzas to Mass VR and kind of see how that goes and see how that takes off. Maybe start getting them in bars, things like that, and see if that could be another thing to.
Do you need the business owner's permission to kind of do that like outside of business hours, or would this be?
No, like I could do it now, but like that's as a natural testing ground. She wants me to do that to like kind of give her so that she can continue to sell Pizza Payaa because that's a draw for her business. So we're gonna wait until we get the second spot with more room, with a big walk-in, maybe get a blast chiller, things like that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, really, we're looking for a bigger location, a better location, one that's more set up for a restaurant, and then that's like a side tangent, a side business that we're also thinking about doing.
Well, I mean, it's a good one, right? I feel like if there's a demand, do it. But then also, pizza is one of those things that, I think a lot of people just like didn't like when it came to freezing, or they didn't like frozen pizza just because of what was out there.
Right.
But today, the game's kind of changed a bit.
No, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'm listening to your podcast, like the guy in Toronto, I was like, oh man, that's a genius. Like he's freezing the pies and like he's doing more business in the frozen pies than he's doing in his restaurant, So I thought that was pretty cool. That was a pretty good idea.
What is your recommended bake time for frozen pizza?
I tell people 400 degrees, 10 to 15 minutes. Because every oven's different, every home oven is very different. So that's the kind of tough part because they got to put their chef hand on a little bit to kind of know when it's done.
Are you cooking them all the way, or are you par baking them for the most part?
For the frozen pies, we're cooking them all the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Huh. Interesting.
But that's not even something we're selling. That's just like we give to people like my out of town friends and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I do it too, right? Where it's like I'll have pizzas to give away. I've given them away for like charity pop-ups for people who donated extra.
Yeah,
and
awesome.
Like thank you. And I play around with the temperatures, but like I feel like it's going back to what you say about like the whole, you got to get your chef hat on and kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see if you had something that was kind of locked.
No, I wish there was some magic formula. A lot of people say like air fryers, they get the best results in, and pizzazzes.
Yeah. What's pizzazzes?
They're you ever seen those things? Those pizza ovens that like it's like an open oven and it like rotates. No, you never seen that. Come on, you're the pizza guy, man. Now. You gotta know that.
I know. I'm sleeping. How do you spell that?
I think it's like pizza with like a Z at the end.
Pizzazzes. Okay. Pizza. Oh, wow. Interesting.
That's like a big,
Presto pizzazz pizza. I mean, so it looks like it rotates and then there's a heat source either from the bottom and the top or just the top.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't have one personally, but like a lot of customers, like they'll post a video of that on Instagram. Like this is the best way to like reheat the pizza, stays crispy. Like I'm like, oh, okay, nice.
I like it. I'm a huge fan of the air fryer. I feel like I've been advocating for the air fryer for a while now, and I think it's starting to become more and more mainstream. There was even a time where I wanted to start like a frozen pizza company that was specifically catered to air fryer users.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've been an irrational hater of air fryers. I don't have one. I'm like, it's a convection oven. It's just a smaller convection oven. Like, why do I need an air fryer, But people, they get good results with it. They like it, so.
It is a smaller convection oven, but when you think about it, it's also like, it's like cooking on an uni versus, cooking on like a big old wood-fired oven, right? It's like what takes longer to preheat and what's going to get your food out faster.
Okay. All right. I never thought of it that way, but okay. That makes sense. There you go.
Maybe,
I'm converted now. My irrational hate is gone.
I'm with it. We've kind of sped through a lot of the questions that I had, but there was one thing when doing my research on you that I just found interesting. Hey, Pizza Pal. I just want to say thank you for listening to the show so far, and thank you for making it all the way here. Before we get on to the end of the show, I want to remind you all to please leave a rating on the podcast. You could do it right now. Just go ahead and click 5 stars if you're listening on Spotify or Apple. It will greatly help the show. I appreciate you so much. And if you're looking to buy an uni or a second uni, the affiliate link helps the show so much. So please use that anytime you're considering a new oven. All right, enjoy the rest of the show. And maybe you can either confirm or deny this, but like, were you a poker player back in the day?
Yeah. I was a online poker player. I used to go to Vegas every summer, play in the World Series, things like that. That was like my college job, if you will. My brother's still doing it. My brother's still playing professional poker all these years later.
I don't know that I've met somebody that was a professional poker player.
It's a hard way to make an easy living, man. Let me tell you.
Hard way to make an easy living.
It was fun, but man, there's not many jobs where you can come home with your pockets like way lighter than when you went to work. So
yeah. Any why'd you give up? Why'd you give it up?
I just kind of naturally, it's kind of a lonely job, like especially doing online, like you're just kind of sitting there for 12 hours a day, just playing tournaments, doing that. And even if you go to Vegas, like you're sitting with people, but it's a lot of sitting, sedentary lifestyle. Just kind of outgrew it a little bit. I still would dabble here and there, but it was time to do something else. That's the short answer.
Yeah. Is there a lesson from poker that you implement in pizza?
Yeah. I mean, in business in general, just in life in general, it's like poker is a lot of decision making with incomplete information. So it's like you try to get as much information as you can. You try to use what you know and use your instincts, what you know in the past, kind of like guesstimate the probabilities. And you just got to make the best decision you can and live with that. Some people, they think it's like it's win or lose. That's how you decide if you're doing well. No, are you making the right decisions? Are you doing the right things? Because if you keep doing the right things and keep making the right decisions, everything else is going to take care of itself. You can't be super results orientated all the time.
Can you, I feel like I know what you're talking about just because I've listened to a podcast on Annie Duke who talks about this, but can you give like a more concrete example when even if it's a poker example?
Sure.
Just for that. Yeah, please.
I mean, for as far as poker goes, like it's like 2-7 is the worst hand, right? And pocket aces is like the best hand. So let's say you're going into a hand, you got 2-7 and you go all in and you win. So are you going to be like, yeah, I won. Like, I'm going to do that again. That was a good decision. Or you're like, oh shit, like I got lucky. That was not good. Like, let me learn from that. Like, I should not do that again because 99% of the time I'm going to lose. So
right.
You want to get your money in when you have aces, not when you have 2-7. I don't know if that helped explain it at all or not.
Maybe just to continue on the analogy, like even if you have 2 aces and you go all in against 2-7 and you lose on 2 aces,
there you go. Yeah,
you still made the right move. Right.
Thanks for completing that circle.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's just an important thing because it's like we get mad at ourselves for making the right moves all the time, and then it just doesn't play out our way.
Exactly.
But that's poker and that's life.
That's life. You got to just learn what you can. And sometimes it's just bad luck, and just chalk it up to bad luck and just show up the next day. Just keep showing up, keep doing the right things.
Yeah. But in poker, you got to protect your ass by like not betting your entire house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. That's the hardest part about poker, protecting your ass.
Yeah. Any situations like that in business, in pizza that you can kind of relate to?
Sure. I mean, just that mentality kind of followed me into business and like into starting this. It's like I didn't put my house on the line, you know, I didn't put all my assets on the line to start this business. I did it organically and kind of let the business feed itself before just risking all, you know, the stuff that's outside of the business. You know, that's my life. You know, I'm not going to risk my future, my kids' stuff when I don't need to. You know, I can build things slowly. I can make sure that it's viable. I can use the money and reinvest it, and just don't take anything out of the business. Let the business feed itself and see how big it can get itself. Don't get caught up in like, oh, I need to invest this huge sum of money, or oh, I need to go borrow this money and do this and do that. Like, be smart about it. You know, make smart bets.
Make smart bets. I like that. What can people do to like make smarter bets moving forward? Because I mean, make smart bets is great advice, but like maybe how can people apply that in more practical terms?
Test things out. You know, just always take action, do things, test things out, and analyze what happened. You know, and be honest with yourself. You got to be your toughest critic and your biggest fan at the same time. But the honesty is the most important thing. So it's like, if you're going to try a new pizza or try a new style, you know, test it out, get other people's opinions too, and see what they say, see what they think. And know that everybody's not going to be honest with you either. So you kind of got to like expand that circle as you're growing a business. You got to get people in there who don't have anything invested in you and don't have any ties to you, and they're not worried about hurting your feelings, you know, and see if they come back. You know, that's the biggest thing for me too, is like, if people keep coming back for the same thing, that's a smart bet. Like that's where you want to put your effort behind. That's kind of what I did with like choosing the style of pizza that I chose to focus on. Cause like, I love the New York rounds. Like I you know, people ask for them all the time, but people kept coming back for the Sicilian. They kept asking for the pan pizza. They're like, we've never had anything like this before. So I was like, all right, this is the smart bet. Like, let me go all in on this, and then I can, you know, add something else down the line. But let's focus on this and build this business first. So
I love that. Yeah, it makes sense from a business perspective. It's like you have to. I don't know. I was just talking to somebody about developing an online business the other day, and she kind of put it this way: it's like throw things at the wall and find out what sticks.
Sure.
And then when that one thing sticks, like, get in there.
You never know, man. You never know. Like, you think one thing's gonna work, and you think one thing's not gonna work at all, and then it's the opposite. You know. So you just got to keep acting, keep trying things out. You know, see what sticks.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel that. Let's see here. So there are like. And see if you can give something that we haven't discussed, but there are two questions that I make sure to always ask in the podcast, right? What is one mistake that people can avoid in the pizza in pizza business or life?
Don't try to please everybody. If you try to please everybody, you're going to end up pleasing nobody. I mean, that's, you know, generic, tried and true, repeated advice, but really just focus on making a very small group of people super, super happy instead of trying to please everybody. Because if you try to please everybody, like, then you start watering things down, you start editing and start doing this. It's like, no, go after, like, for me, it was like, I'm a foodie. I love to eat food. I'll spend anything on food. Like, I love to eat the best stuff. So it's like, I kind of like went that direction instead of like the commodity, like, oh, I'm going to make this, you know, $5 pizza. Like, and there's a lot of people out there like that. The majority of people aren't like that. I'd say like maybe 10-20% of the people who live around here are like that, but you don't need 100% of the population to grow a business. You just need a small group of people that will be loyal to you and will kind of go to bat for you. And then it just kind of spreads from there too. Cause like, once you get established with these people, then the people on the general public, oh yeah, maybe I should go try this, this weird pizza that I've been hearing about, or maybe I should try this, some prosciutto one, whatever. Like they never heard of prosciutto before. So that was a very rambling answer, but
no, you did. And I was going to say like, yeah, I mean, sometimes I was just laughing at the prosciutto thing. Like that is real. That's a real, thing for people, is that, not everyone eats fancy pizza like we do on a daily basis. And so it's new and you have to introduce it. I guess my follow-up question to that is like, do you think that your immediate circle that follows you on social media also appreciates good quality food too? Because it seems like you were able to attract your clientele, like pretty, I don't want to say easily, but it seemed like, with a 1,000-person guest list, you had your clientele right then and there.
Yeah, I think they just kind of gravitated kind of naturally how social media works. Like people are in their circles, and people who love food are friends with people who love food. Like so that just kind of naturally happened. Nothing special I did, I don't think. I just kind of put some good pizza out there, and it found the right people, I guess.
Yeah. No. So, I mean, do you have advice for someone who hasn't found their target audience just yet?
I would say know who it is, know who you want to target, and it doesn't have to be set in stone. But if you have a target, I'm making this pizza for this particular person, which for me, it was like, it's me. I'm making this pizza for me. Like if it's good enough for me, then it's going to be good enough for other people who love food. And just really focus on that, because if you can focus on pleasing one person, then you got a much better chance of pleasing, 1,000 people. When you try to please 1,000 people, you're never going to please anybody,
I feel that. Yeah. If you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What do you want to leave the audience with today?
I'd say just put yourself out there, man, no matter what you're doing. A gram of action is worth like a pound of preparation, a pound of thought. Like just do stuff and you're going to get better at it. Just keep doing stuff. Like that's like, I thought my pizza was good 2 years ago. Like now I'd be like, man, that's trash. Like it's not even good. Like, what are you doing? But like, you just got to you got to act. You got to get out there and do stuff and stop thinking about it so much. Just take action and put yourself out there. Don't be scared. It's just, in this case, it's just pizza. Nobody's life's at risk here. Just.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I like to overthink things too, but.
Oh, me too. Believe me, man, I'm an overthinker. So it's hard, but
it is.
But once you start doing stuff, like you just find out, you learn so much more by actually doing it instead of just thinking about it.
Yeah. Right. No, seriously. It's like if I find myself YouTubing how to make 80% hydration dough, I still don't know how to make it until I actually build it out myself and make those mistakes. Yeah. And even then I still won't know, but I'm one step closer to knowing.
100%, man. Yeah. Action.
Right.
Take action.
I love it. Adam, this was fun, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, Adriff. It was great. It's awesome.
Thank you. Anything we missed that we didn't cover that you want to throw in there that I can edit in?
Not that I can think of, man. Just, Pizza Pie on Instagram. Give us a follow. Check us out. Seeing you in Boston was cool, man. You need a redo. You need a redo on the Portnoy story, man. Golden opportunity missed there. Golden opportunity.
I fucked up.
Dude, I know how that feels. And you're just like, shit. What the hell was I thinking? But yeah, it'll happen again next time.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll be ready next time.
Yeah, you'll be ready.
All right.
Thanks for having me on, dude. Appreciate it.
Oh,
it's great.
Appreciate you. Tell Lauren I said hi and good luck with the move.
I will, man. Thanks, dude.
Dude, every time I say your name, I want to say Taylor. Just because.
Taylor Swift.
Tell Tay I said late.
I love that.
All right. So, you two be good.
All right,
I'll
man.
see you guys. Let me know if you end up going to Chicago.
Yeah, I think we're planning on it. Yeah, we'll hit you up for sure. That'll be fun,
Hook
man.
me up with a frozen pie, man.
Oh, I will. What do you want? What do you want to try? Look at the menu. Pick whatever you want.
Okay. Yeah. No, we'll find somebody to bake it in their oven over there.
Yeah, like, hey, I got these pizzas, man. Can
you hook me up?
Hook me up, please? Come on, Steve. You're the hungry hound, man. Hook me up, dude. I got one for you too.
Oh, there you go. We'll feed Steve.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Cool.
For sure, dude.
All right, dude.
All right, man.
Have a good day.
Take it easy, dude.
Peace.
See ya.
Adam, brother, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge of pizza, business, and life. You had some great lessons in all three. I hope to hang out with you and Lauren, aka Tay Tay, again in the very near future. And of course, I can't wait to see your pizza journey continue. To you, the listener, let's go. Please make sure to follow Adam at Payaa. Link to that will be in the show notes, and make sure to show him some love over there. Come on. Also, don't forget, it is the summertime. Make sure to sign up for Pizzaioli pop-up. You can make pizza for your local community and raise money to fight food insecurity. And who knows, if you sign up for this and give away free pizza, you never know who you'll meet. You might meet your future business partner like Adam did. So make sure to sign up for that. Link to get more information will be in the show notes. I appreciate you. I love you. Till next time. Peace.